Freaking Jared. Alright guys, welcome to HRL Season 6. This is the Grand Finals. Round number 3 at Formal GP. This is going to be Moto 2 here. So final Moto of the Grand Finals, and I just showed in the last Moto, I'll update it off the top of my head here. Detail and Luke tied 74-74, and Slaunch just behind in third at 72 for those top 3 spots, and they are pretty much the 3 contenders for this championship. So before we go through everybody's positioning, let's look where they're starting. Slaunch and Luke on the same row, side by side, so that's going to be interesting. And then we have Detail in the back because he won the first race. So the toughest position here is obviously Detail. So he needs to get a strong start here. He's clearly the fastest guy on track with Real Deal, so that does help. But at the same time, this is a hard track to pass on. So it's a lot of this is going to be down to the start for him. He needs to get a good start to be competitive immediately. Can't be like a last lap scenario where he's got to get a pass on somebody. So let's go through the rest of the starting positions. We got Camby and Hunter right and left, Opix to the right, Roman to the left, obviously Luke and Slaunch right and left, Real Deal right, and Phil to the left, and Detail there in the back by his lonesome self. Look out for the lights. Gonna go green. That was the same. Yeah, it was. It was. Green flag. See how the start goes. Oh, jeez. Somebody just, it's like a 5 wide. Somebody made like an erratic, I think it was Phil, made like an erratic move to the left, and that shoved 2 other drivers, I think it was Luke and Detail, really far inside, and that forced an immediate 5 wide. So that's insane. And remember what I was saying about the start. Here it is, Detail with an absolute god start. He's right there on Luke and Slaunch immediately. Oh, 3 wide, going into the neg camber. And Slaunch and Luke both flip. What? I'm showing that again. So let's show what happened here, because I still can't wrap my head around it. So huge battle here. This is 3 wide. The 3 Grand Finals championship contenders here, 3 wide into the neg camber, side by side by side, trying to slow up for it and flip. So I don't know, like that's just Halo physics. I don't think anybody should have flipped there, but oh well. So that's gonna be unfortunate. Slaunch and Luke both gonna have a rough recovery from that. Luke down to 8th and Slaunch down to last place. So they both had really good starts, and Detail obviously also had a really good start. So that is unfortunate. They're gonna really have to work their way back into this one now to have a chance. And Camby's out to the lead, and Detail's on sweep alert right now. He is looking strong at this track, and he is all over Camby. An incredible start. Starts in 9th, hits the line at the end of the first lap in 2nd, and is now all over Camby's rear for 1st. So it's all going to be if he can get by Camby. Camby going for the block, but Camby realizes that Detail's got the room, so Camby decides to give a little bit of room. Nice little crossover there out of Detail. That crossover might be the difference maker. How much time is he going to make up in this sweeper? Is it enough to get by him completely? It looks like it. Can he hold Camby off? Camby's going to try to return the favor, but he cannot. Detail already out to the lead. This is not looking good for Slaunch and Luke in this scenario. Detail with just an absolutely clutch, like pretty much perfect start, a solid pass on Camby, and he is out to the early lead here. So this is looking scary. This might be his Grand Finals to lose at this point, because definitely in the best position here, and in a position to possibly sweep as well, which we have not seen in several seasons in the Grand Finals, so that would be crazy. But we did have Slaunch in a position to sweep earlier in the night, and he did not pull that off, so anything's possible. Anything's possible at this point. Honestly, Luke's not that far back. Worked his way up to, what are we in? We're in 5th here? So worked his way up to 5th so far, so the championship battle's not quite over yet. We have Phil just like takes out Real Deal right there. I'm not really sure what that was about. I'd have to watch that again. Watched it last night. I still don't really know what I feel about it. It almost looked like Phil made a rookie mistake and tried to like slam Real Deal after railing the rumble, which never works out, so I don't really know what happened there. But that's going to give another position to Luke, and that's going to hurt Real Deal a ton. Look, he's behind Roman now. Real Deal's behind Roman, and he's looking to get a solid finisher, even though his hopes of winning the Grand Finals pretty much over. Oh, spins out there as well. Man, this is gonna have to be a salvage race for him. Even though his hopes of winning it is pretty much over, he's still got some hopes for taking possibly 3rd place from Slaunch. If Slaunch finishes really bad, which he's not in a good position here, he's made a couple positions back up here, but he's still pretty far back in the pack. If Real Deal has a really good finish and Slaunch has a really bad one, then there is a chance possibly that Real Deal could come back into this. But look at this, Phil and Luke going at it here in the uphill. And Phil definitely shoving Luke out of the line there, so this is going to be a good battle. You know they're going to go at it. Roman to Luke's inside. This is going to be tight. Definitely gets both of the bumps there, so that's not going to help him. That inside has like 2 little bumps on the inside, and if you hit those, you're just not going to get the run going into the next corner. And Roman loses the spot to Real Deal as well, and Luke goes for the dive move on Phil, and this is possibly a 3 wide here. Oh, Real Deal possibly with the move on Phil as well, and Phil is not happy. But I think he's got bigger things to worry about. Real Deal's on his inside now too, so Real Deal's going to try to take advantage of this. And possibly a move for second from Luke on Camby as well, so this is big. Oh, everybody's just, I feel like Phil and Real Deal both dived that a little hard, but moving on here, Real Deal trying to take the spot from Phil. And he looks like he's going to overtake it. So Real Deal so far with a pretty good salvage. He needs to get by Camby, get into podium spot. And if he wants that 3rd place, he might have to try to click that 2nd off of Luke. And now Luke's made his way up to 2nd. It's taken quite a bit, but as you can see, Detail's gap, his start was so good. And just look at this. Hits the chicane right here. And 2nd place is going to hit the chicane right now. So that is a fat gap right there. Real Deal possibly already going to make a move by Camby. But yeah, that is just an insane gap right there. Oh, Camby with kind of like the same thing Phil did to Real Deal. And Phil's fallen back here. More big dives, questionable dives on Hunter. I think he's just racing pissed off at this point. I don't think Hunter's feeling it. Getting loose there. Maybe Roman's going to make a move off that possibly. And Slaunch still back here behind all of these guys. So Slaunch really needs to get some positions here if he's going to want to compete for this. Because I think it's safe to say at this point, it's going to take lag cheese or something. Detail and Luke are the 2 competitors for this championship at this point. I think it's safe to say. So Slaunch a ripperoni early here in the 2nd moto. But when it comes to Detail and Luke, I don't know if it's going to be much of a battle here. Like I said, it would have to come down to some cheese. Like, Detail had such a great start. He's got such a lead. And I wouldn't be surprised if they hold on for 1-2, but I don't think there's going to be a battle there. We'll see how it goes. Real Deal did make that spin-out mistake, but it's going to take like 2 or 3 spin-out mistakes for that gap to be worked. Still some great battles here, though, for the top 5. These guys have been duking it out the entire time. These battles have been amazing. Minute we were just, yeah, pretty much. You should see Obix. You should see the Twitch clip of my perspective from that incident. It makes more sense why I flipped, but then when you watch theater, it makes no sense. Best way I can describe it. 2 double battles here. I think this is Phil working on Slaunch and Roman working on Camby here, and then Opix is kind of closing in as well. And Hunter trying to hold off. And like I said, it's now Detail, Luke, and Real Deal off to the top 3, so those guys are probably going to be gone at this point. I mean, we saw Detail and Real Deal just far ahead of the pack last moto. They just really ran away with it. Ooh, this is going to be tight here. Slaunch trying to make an inside move on Roman. Roman trying to hold on to it. Can he? Slaunch had a really nice bump right there. Roman's going to opt to try to go back for it in the next corner. Does he get a good enough run? Not, well, maybe. Yeah, wow, Roman actually holds off the spot. I did not expect that. So that was a really nice move right there. Oh man, that sucks. Gonna lose it back immediately though because he gets caught on Camby's bumper. Possibly gonna lose the spot to Phil as well. That is unfortunate for sure. Oh, might be able to fight back on Phil. No, not gonna happen. Roman's like being ran completely off the track there. Not much he can do. A good run through the rumble, but again, like he's fighting for it. He's letting him know he's there, but I don't think he's gonna be able to make anything work here. Camby doing a nice job of holding out as long as he possibly can. I like how Jared comes in to watch the only race that he watched last night. Roman with a huge run. Where did this come from? Roman trying to make the move on Phil early. He's going to have the outside line, though, going into the next sweeper. Is that going to be enough? And yes, it's gonna work out. Roman. Oh, Phil though with the crossover. But it looks like Roman gonna hold off Phil here, but Phil just going on every single inside. Roman's got to be pissed at this point. He's getting frustrated for sure. Both of these drivers. And yeah, Phil, I'm just going to be honest. He deserved that. Runs himself into the pole right there. He's being way too aggressive on Roman. I get the idea, but he's going for so many moves. Oh, look at that track cut by Roman there. Did you see that, Roman? That was a Roman track cut. Let's go back. Let's watch this. I want to show this off. So we have Roman going into the neg camber here, trying to make a move on Slaunch and Camby, and as you can see, Roman, wow, with the fat track cut, just obviously taking a bite of his pizza right there, just completely cuts the track. So Roman, you're gonna have to get those pizza fingers off of the controller and get your focus back off of the pizza onto the track here if you're gonna have a good finish to this moto. Slaunch and Roman battling side by side here. Phil getting back. Oh no! Oh, I did not expect that. Roman with the pizza fingers transferring onto his mongoose, and as you can see, there's just pizza grease. I don't know if you guys can see this all over his mongoose, and Slaunch gets into it. And he's going right off into the wall. Had no idea that pizza grease was coming, and that is curtains for Slaunch. I mean, I called it earlier, but that is absolutely curtains for Slaunch. There's no coming back from that. So he could probably get all of these spots back, but it's not going to matter. He's not going to get up to Hunter or anywhere, so that is just unfortunate right there. It's over for him. And as you can see here, Detail has just stretched this gap. Detail is just dominating this track, and it's pretty much it's over. It's over. How much time do we have left though? All right, we're at about a minute left, so there's still a bit of time left in the race, but I mean, it's over. And Real Deal, like I said, Real Deal as well, really fast, has caught this gap with Luke, but can he make the pass? That is the question. Real Deal just looking solid on this track the entirety of the night. God, I feel like everybody cuts that corner. Jesus. But yeah, just a strong performance out of Detail, and as long as he doesn't get lag cheesed and stays clean out front, this is going to be his first. Oh, Hunter goes down. This just got interesting. So the rest of the top 5 could still have some switch ups before the end of this race. Roman and Hunter possibly. Oh, Slaunch with the aggressive crossover move on Camby, so he's going to try to recover a couple spots here, but like I said, you know, he's going to get a couple extra points to keep himself in front of Real Deal in the points, but you know, it's over. All right, so we're gonna hit 2 to go this time by for Detail, and Real Deal and Luke there. The only way Real Deal can have a chance at maybe beating Slaunch is if he gets by Luke here. But obviously Luke's not gonna want to give up that position easily, even though he knows it's pretty much over at this point. But I'm sure Real Deal will still put in some hard laps here and see what he can do. I'm surprised by how like the top 3 is gone, but the rest of this pack is actually pretty well gapped still. Like, they're all pretty close. And with the respect to the Grand Finals champion, white flag, I believe, right? I didn't call it wrong, or is that 2 to go? Let me double check. That's 2 to go. I'm an idiot. 2 to go. I mean, we all know pretty much the championship is over, so like we're getting there. We're getting there. Still some battles though. Roman and Hunter. Maybe a crossover move. Not really able to pull it off there. Yeah. Roman and Hunter still going at it. Hunter just, with that big mistake, he was running a clean race, and now it's to the point where he's got to worry about this position. And Slaunch getting back up to Phil. That's going to be fun. If he can catch up to him, that's going to be a really fun battle. Oh, there it is. Slaunch right on Phil. Let's see if Slaunch goes for a little cheese knocker here. That's what I'm going to call the move. Not quite able to do anything yet, but has he already hit he just hit the white flag. So Detail with the white flag. One more lap around this track, one more clean lap, and he will take the checkered flag here with a sweep to end off the grand finals. So that's just incredibly clutch fashion, and likely going to take the championship as well. The beeps, I think everybody in the top 3 knows it's pretty much over at this point. Railing the final rumble. Actually, there's one more, but actually, there's two more. Wow, dude. As you can see, not even going for the inside. They're not even going hard because even he knows that it's over. Running the outside. No reason to make a mistake at this point. Detail is your Season 6 Grand Finals champion and takes the sweep here at Formal. Luke second, Real Deal third. And how do these other spots end up? Oh, that was close, but Hunter takes fourth, Roman fifth, Phil sixth, Slaunch seventh, Camby eighth, and Opix ninth. So, wow, like I said, the rest of that pack stayed tight. That was a great race. All right, let's get Real Deal's Yas off the face here. But, oh, God. All right, well, anyways, Detail with the championship here. Just a solid run, and like I said, the sweep, 2 drivers for 2 moto wins. So we'll get to the points here in a second. But just a solid finish there. Luke's going to be the runner-up, which we'll get to the podium shots in a second, but the runner-up just barely behind him, just not enough. Detail with a really dominant performance in this final race. And obviously the unfortunate cheese with Luke and Slaunch as well played a role, but I think Detail probably would have took it anyways. He was just blazing on this track. And running at the podium for this race was Real Deal, but he's going to take fourth in Grand Finals. The third place bronze medal goes to Slaunch. We'll wait for them to get lined up at the podium. But before that, let's get the actual points up. Oh my god, my leg is in such a bad position. I don't think I can move my leg. Oh my god, dude. Oh, I need to like stand up. This is bad. This is really bad. Okay, so can I zoom on this a little bit? A little bit of zoom action, a little bit of zooms, a little bit of zoomskis. A little bit of zoomskis. It's too much zoomskis. There we go. Alright, so rounding out the final round, as you can see, it was just a dominant performance out of Detail, taking the sweep. Like I said, first sweep we've seen in a grand final since season 3. So, and first sweep we've never seen a Supercross sweep. Interestingly, I would think Supercross would be the easiest one to sweep on in the grand finals, but we've never seen a Supercross sweep in grand finals. We have now seen a GP and a oval sweep. No Rallycross yet, but you know, I'm sure there will be a Rallycross sweep eventually. But as you can see, just a super tight point margin there. 91 points to Luke's 89. So that was just a close battle between the two. Tied up at the end of the first round and tied up going into the last moto. So they were just back and forth all throughout the night. Slaunch with the third place. Like I said, like every one of my panelists said in the pre-race show, that you know it would come down to Rallycross, which he did have a good performance. He had a solid performance at the Supercross, but as what usually happens, a GP that left something to be desired, and that's that's definitely where he lost out. He was right there with Luke and right there with Detail going into it, but after Formal, it all fell apart, especially after that second moto. Going to fourth place, Real Deal, he actually closed that gap with Slaunch, so only 2 points, Slaunch beating him by. And like I said, that second moto for Real Deal at Portugal really was the difference maker there. Like I think he could have done way better on the Rallycross, both motos for sure. Or maybe not the first one. He did really well considering the circumstances in the first one, but the second one for sure definitely could have done better. We were roasting him for his Supercross. He actually did pretty well in the Supercross, I would say, for him. A 5th, 4th, that's about as much as you could ask for, and had a solid GP as well. So, you know, pretty much what you expect out of Real Deal minus that bad Rallycross moto. That's like the one bad spot right there, and that's definitely where he lost his possible bronze medal there. And go to Hunter. So we'll see if he holds on to this. I think he might get penalized, but as of the time of recording this video, I'll make like an update, little mini recap if these positions, because there still could be some penalties thrown out, especially mainly for Formal. Portugal and Anaheim pretty much fine, but for Formal there still could be some penalties thrown out here. So as of now, as of the recording of this, Hunter holding on to that 5th place with the 68 points, a pretty solid grand finals performance out of him. Phil with the 6th place, 67, and Roman with the Phil got that tiebreaker there. Roman with that 7th place, 67. So a poor performance out of Roman. The pizza fingers just a little bit too much for him there. That grease definitely needs to let off on that. But man, what is going on with Roman in the grand finals? Always having solid regular seasons, but then go to the grand finals and he really has yet to put up a good grand finals performance, like an all-around good one. And look at this, he doesn't even get a podium in this one. So that is definitely leaving something to be desired. Definitely expect him to bounce back. I think 3 bad ones in a row is enough. I for sure expect him to bounce back in the next one, next season. God, it's already 9 o'clock. That is insane. Vulcan here quitting out on the last race, so maybe could have finished, maybe could have done a little bit better. I think he probably would have finished here. So Vulcan with the 8th. I definitely think he could have had a better grand finals, mainly because of the Supercross. He had a pretty decent rallycross. Could have done, why is that a different color? Could have done way better in the Supercross here. I would have expected him in the top 5, so could have done way better there, and that would have helped him out for sure. Opix with the 9th and Camby with the 10th. Both of them put up a great effort, but just not enough. It's really hard to compete at the top level of the grand finals. The fact that they made it is achievement enough. So going through there, congrats to Detail on the first place gold medal and for his second Halo 5 championship and getting a regular season and a grand finals championship, which is always nice because you want to prove that you can do both. So there's still some drivers out there that just have a regular season looking for a grand finals, and some drivers that just have a grand finals looking for a regular season championship. So looking out for, I believe it's Real Deal who just got his regular season, no grand finals, and Armada has a grand finals championship, no regular season one. So always want to prove that you can do it in both formats, because obviously grand finals and regular season, vastly different formats there. So yeah, overall, great night. We'll show, oh, here we go. Here's the stats. So I wanted to show this off a little bit. As you can see, the difference maker for Detail there, 2 overalls, 3 moto wins. It is hard to lose a grand finals when you have 2 overalls and 3 moto wins. 2 poles, obviously big. He's been clear the past 2 seasons, the best qualifier, so that just helps. Heat wins as well. I think this was clutch. 2 semis. He's generally had some struggles in the semis and the heats, so that was definitely a big factor. But for these top 3, all with the same podium count, but the difference for Detail and Luke is that extra top 5 for sure, and the moto wins as well. Definitely the difference makers. Highest position differential as expected. Real Deal with a higher position differential with Slaunch though. Interesting. Slaunch, the difference for him on Real Deal has to be the moto win. I mean, it is, right? Because if it's a second place, then it's a tie. So yeah, the difference for Slaunch, definitely the moto win and the overall, and solid finishes all around. So that's the difference maker for him, being able to finish over Real Deal. That moto win was huge. 2 podiums out of Phil, so that's, I don't think anybody would have expected that. That's definitely big. 1 for Hunter, a couple top 5s here. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Nothing else to really say here. Let's go back to the podium shots. Or the podium shot for formal, at least. I'll record the other ones afterwards. But let's cap off this video with a solid podium shot. Alright. Freaking hungry, dude. It's about that time to get some food. Get some food. By the way, shared, that means I'll be on in probably like 30 minutes because I'm going to make some food. My sleeping schedule, I'm actually getting it back on track, but for some reason when I woke up this morning, I decided to eat and make eating the last part of my routine. It's generally the first thing I do when I wake up, so I ate really late. But my sleep schedule's getting better. It's improved slowly, but the last 2 weeks I need a little bit more improvement. So this week I'm gonna get at least an hour or 2 important. Why is this guy camouflaged? Oh my god. Opix, you redod. You gave Slaunch the Prophet's Bane, which makes him invisible. Please, Slaunch, get rid of the Prophet's Bane. Because I'm not redoing this. I am not redoing this. What the cheese? I know it takes a second. Let me skip ahead. I'm not even in on the podium. Okay, here we go. Did he switch it out? Let's go. Who has the Prophet's Bane? Phil! What are you doing? But for real though, I think we should rethink giving them the Prophet's Bane, because that kind of ruins the point, especially if they're on the podium. Luckily Phil isn't on the podium here, but he is. He does have a podium shot. It's like, what the cheese? Slaunch getting a nice look here at he's getting a nice look at the championship, you know. Not much else to say there. But let's get lined up here for our final podium shot of, I guess technically our first, because I wasn't really keeping up with them, but I guess our final podium shot here. You have the top 3 finishers for grand finals overall points here. So there you go. Both drivers staring at the gas. So there's definitely some sus stuff. Okay, we're good. We're good. There we go. All right, got their little urges out. Now we're good. Details like, dude, you guys staring at my ass, and they're like, yep, and then they're gonna move on. So there we go. Why does that ground pound indicator show up on screen in theater? That's kind of weird. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed the video for the final moto grand finals. This was probably, like, honestly, I feel like every grand finals is the best grand finals, and I feel like that continues. This one was ultra competitive, went down to the last moto for sure, and it was really dope. So I'm hoping that continues into the next grand final. The only thing is, I hope there's another like super close points tie, but this time no cheese flip happens. Because even though I think the same result would have happened regardless, it'd still be dope if we could just have a nice, like, clean 2 people battle, like 1 point separating them. Whoever gets, or like tie, whoever wins the battle wins the championship. That would be so dope. But we pretty much had that here, close enough. You know, still pretty dope. So elated.